Well, good morning, Hirschbach. Welcome back to the podcast, What You Drive. I'm your host, Tony Krapfl. With me today is owner of Hirschbach Motorlines, Brad Pinchuk. Welcome, Brad.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me, Tony.
Thank you. If we're going to start out right, we might as well start out big for welcoming the podcast back. So that's why we have Brad today.
All right.
So, Brad, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see. Geez, where do I start? I've been around here for a while. Some of you have known me for 25 plus years, and some of you I've never met before. So it's good to be back on the podcast. Actually, we started these many years ago, and I was in your seat actually, doing the moderating and so forth. And so it's good to be back in front of you. As far as myself, I grew up in the Chicagoland area. And in the suburbs outside of Chicago. Big Bears fan, of course. Go Bears. We're excited with Caleb Williams this year, and Rome Odumze, and DeAndre Swift, and all those guys. So anyway, I won't go on too much about that, but it's been a long time. 1985 was a long time ago. But anyway, I grew up in Chicago. I went to school, a small school in Minnesota, and that's where I met my wife, Jelaine. Many of you know Jelaine and have met her, and if you haven't, she's a wonderful person. We've been married for over 30 years. We've got three daughters that are all in their 20s and off doing their things. So got one going to law school. I don't know that we need another lawyer in this world, but anyway, we got one going to law school this year. We got one in college, and one's working right now. So we're pretty excited. Kids are doing well, and so we're empty nesters, I guess, now, which means that it's just another way of saying that I'm old, I think, or older. So anyway, the other thing that I did in college is I participated in ROTC. I had an ROTC scholarship in college, and that was my first career, really. So after I graduated from college, I proudly served in the Army. I was a Army engineer for 4 years, active duty, most of that time spent in Europe during the first Gulf War. So it was an incredible experience for a 22-year-old to, be out, out there and protecting the country, which I take a lot of pride in. I know we've got a ton of veterans in our organization, and I'm very proud to be one as well. I know we just celebrated Memorial Day here recently. What else can I tell you? I played football in college as well. After I served in the military, I got out of the college and somehow ended up in trucking. I really didn't have any experience doing trucking necessarily. A little bit in the Army, actually. My first platoon was a heavy earth-moving equipment, so bulldozers, scrapers, graders, all that sort of fun stuff, and we did a bunch of different projects all over Europe. But we had our own tractors and trailers for hauling the stuff around, and so we're doing convoys across Germany and so forth with our equipment. And that was really my first taste of trucking. And, I guess I like to get my hands dirty. When I was growing up, I built homes. And so that was part of the interest, I guess, in engineering and so forth was kind of building something. That continued in the Army and had a bunch of different projects and so forth. But I always liked doing the work myself as well. And so in the Army, I would have a lot of the troops teach me how to operate the equipment, and I couldn't do it as well as they could, but I enjoyed it. When I got my work done, I would take an interest in what they were doing, which I think they appreciated, and I really enjoyed. It's a lot of fun, operating a bulldozer, for example. Who wouldn't want to do that, right?
Exactly.
Right. And that carried on. I got into trucking after the Army, and I've been doing it for over 30 years. Another way of saying I'm old. I would get out and operate the trucks as well occasionally in the yard. I didn't have a CDL, but I finally got around to getting my CDL a number of years ago, and our lawyer, we were talking about lawyers earlier. Our lawyer, Brian Colas, PK, great guy, grew up in the trucking industry. He taught me how to drive a truck initially, and I went ahead and got my CDL, and I've been out on the road several times with some of our drivers, as well as by myself and with my wife. And I really have a ton of respect and appreciation for the tough jobs that our drivers really do out there. So
Day in and day out, they do it.
absolutely. So anyway, that's enough about me.
Oh, that's good. So, Brad, you brought up the military service you did. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Thank you to all of our drivers out there that are veterans. Very greatly appreciate it. You had a hard job then, have a hard job now, and greatly appreciate your service to the country. So, a few true-false questions, Brad. You ready?
I'll do my best, yeah.
I like to have a little fun with this. So,
Okay.
true or false? You've had goats at your house in Dubuque.
That's true. We have had goats. There's a wonderful family here locally that they got their kids to get, they're in 4-H and things like that, and they created a business basically for renting out their goats for, eating all the weeds and that sort of stuff in the grass. So, yes, true.
Okay. So you served 4 years in the Army.
I did.
True or false? The Army has the easiest boot camp of all the services.
False. That's false.
Okay.
Definitely the toughest, of course.
And I'm going to provide a disclaimer. I'm just having a little bit of fun here. If you've listened to the last podcast, the introduction, I like to laugh and everything. So no boot camp is easy. I just had to have a little fun with Brad. So we started the podcast. Now we've made sure that our phones are shut off. Brad has a very up-to-date one. For those that listened last week, I'm not up to date on technology. So just to show you, this is my flip phone, but I did shut it off.
Okay.
I don't.
Mine's not off. Do I have to turn it off?
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I think,
Okay.
Brad, you can do whatever you
Okay.
want.
It is on silent. I think, so.
So one of the topics we wanted to go over that we've seen comments on Facebook was what's going on with the best of the best this year.
Yeah.
So would you like to address that?
I would, yeah. The best of the best. We started this, oh gosh, it's probably been about, I don't know how long it's been. It's been a long time. But it's a way of recognizing our drivers for really performing at a very, very high level. And so, we have other awards that we do that are, I'd say, more common in the industry, recognizing drivers' amazing accomplishments for longevity, for safe miles driven, and so forth. But we wanted to create an award that really encompassed every aspect of being a professional driver, whether that's running miles, delivering freight on time, being safe, communicating effectively, taking care of your equipment, kind of everything that goes into being a professional driver. And it's the best award. So there's different levels. We've historically have had 3 levels. We've had platinum, gold, and silver as the 3 levels, and the drivers that reach the gold level are invited to a banquet. And we've had one banquet in Dubuque for, the last dozen years or so, and the organization has gotten larger. And so this year we're going to expand it to have a number of different locations out there, so it'll be more convenient for both our drivers and the folks in our offices to attend one of the regional banquets. So it's either going to be 4 or 5. And then we added another award level this year. We have the diamond level. And the diamond level is for those drivers that have achieved platinum, best of the best, for 3 years. And I know we've got a number of drivers that get that platinum level year in and year out. And that is so difficult to do. I mean, basically, you just have to be perfect, pretty much, to get that award. I mean, it's really amazing, and it's incredible how many drivers actually achieve it this year. The other thing that a little teaser that I'd like to throw out there, we're also looking to not just have best of the best be something that's recognized once a year with our drivers. We're looking at drivers that are achieving these high levels to be able to be recognized not just once a year at the banquet, but to be recognized every day as they do their jobs. And so, we're evaluating what that looks like. But basically, one of the things that I know is going to be part of this program is that the drivers that are achieving that top level are going to be able to have some choice in the loads that they're able to select from on a daily basis, which is something that I've heard from drivers for decades. Is something that drivers really want. It's difficult to do that for everyone because it creates some chaos out there, but for the drivers, they're really achieving this ultimate high level of performance out there. We're going to find a way to give you choice, and I think it's also going to be a nice motivation for other drivers to be able to reach those similar types of goals.
That's neat. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. Thank you very much for updating everyone on that.
Sure.
With the best of the best, it's still it's going to be spread over 4 or 5 locations, but it's still going to be, it's a unique and great opportunity to be invited to, but we're still going to have the classic setting where up on the stage everyone gets the recognition coming across the intimate setting.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be. In fact, I mean, the banquet's gotten so big that we've had to kind of usher people through pretty quickly the last few banquets because of how many people are being recognized. So I think the nice thing about this is we'll still be able to do the formal recognition with everyone coming up and receiving their awards. But we'll be able to take our time a little bit and give each individual a little bit more time and themselves, since we won't have hundreds of people going across the stage like we've had the last couple of years.
Well, and again, I think it's a great idea, the more locations, because getting all the drivers in can be a challenge.
Oh, yeah, big challenge.
So to the best of the best winners this year, congratulations. For the newer drivers, talk to some of the best drivers, see what it takes, or talk to your driver leader. It's a unique honor to come in, and for previous recipients, they really enjoy this, and they want to come back year after year. They hold a lot of pride in it, and again, congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations. It's amazing seeing, the pride, people swelling up, receiving these awards. Oftentimes, they're bringing family members to the banquet as well, and I look forward to, we're going to do it a little bit later. Historically, we've done it in July the last several years. It is going to be in the fall this year. So anyway, more information to follow on that.
Good. So next topic that we wanted to go over was earlier this week I put out on Facebook a request for feedback, and it was I wanted our experienced or seasoned drivers to share some wisdom back to us for the newer drivers. And
that's a great idea.
When I say seasoned, I didn't mean, and I put it out there, you can have experience with 1 year, you can have experience with 35 years, but what is something you know now that you wish you had known when you first started driving, to make it easier for anyone out there? And we got some feedback on it. Jason replied, he goes, "I wish I could have taken better care of myself and been home more often for my family." And the first part stuck out with me. As I get older, as we all get older, wish I would have taken better care of myself. And looking back, and I talked to another driver about this, he goes, had I known that if I'd taken better care of myself in my younger years, it would have made my life so much easier as I get older. That resonated with me as well. So for the drivers out there, please do take care of yourself. You're the backbone to what we do here. And just, we wouldn't be here without you. So take care of yourself, whether it's going for a walk, eating healthier. If you need assistance, reach out to us, whether it be safety or someone else in the office. We have resources to help you, so please do reach out to us. And family is important as well. So, stay in communication with them. If you're having issues, don't be afraid to reach out as well. We can work with you on that.
Yeah, the other thing, and I'd just touch on, in terms of both of those topics, we're creating more opportunities for drivers every day to get home more often and more predictably. Of course, our dedicated fleets historically have been the place where we've been getting drivers home more often. Those fleets are home at least weekly, most of those drivers several times a week. But on the over-the-road side, we are doing some really innovative things to get drivers home more often by creating these expedited lanes. And these are lanes that we've got high density in both directions. And we're basically having drivers on these lanes it's like a Pony Express, that are handing off the loads to other drivers. And these drivers are basically doing the same route every day. So it's consistency in terms of miles and paycheck, and also getting the drivers home more often. So we know it's tough in this industry, and can be, and I can tell you, we're really working hard to bring on more opportunities where we can get our drivers home more often.
So another comment we had was asked, who or what is Tony Hirschbach? That's me. Hirschbach is not my last name at all. If you've seen some of the posts, my last name is Krapfl. It's a German name. It goes back years ago. It either meant that we were good farmers or good bakers. Now, if you've seen me,
I go with the baking, yeah.
I'm with the baking as well, specifically a donut maker.
Oh,
So-
today isn't today Donut Day or something like that?
Today
Yeah.
is National Donut Day.
Did you have your donut
I
today?
did not have any donuts.
Really?
I'm trying to shed the weight.
Okay. Well, we're talking about taking care of yourself earlier, so there's an opportunity to do so. Stay away from the donuts.
Stay away from the donuts. So, I am on Facebook under Tony Hirschbach. Reach out to me. I will be posting some more stuff as time goes on, but I'm just the host of this, and we'll be bringing another guest, which brings me to my next point. So
Well, thank you for doing this, by the way. No, I appreciate you taking the lead here, Tony, and this is important to we have some fun with these, but it's critically important to be able to communicate with with our team, and the drivers. It's a tough group. It can be a tough group to communicate with, right? I mean, we're not in the same physical location on a daily basis. Our drivers are out there working hard. They're on the road and so forth, and being able to communicate effectively to our drivers is critically important. And it's an opportunity for us, to get better. I know that when we seek feedback, I mean that's often an area where people are craving more communication. So thank you for stepping up and in leading this very important effort.
Thank you. So that does bring me to my next point. We want to hear from you, the drivers. I'm your host. We'll have guests, but we want to hear from you. What's important to you? Do you want to have a certain guest on? What topics do you want covered? We do have a list here of topics and guests, but if it's not relevant to you, we're going to miss that one. So drivers, please reach out to us, whether it be if you're watching this on YouTube, put something in the comments, what you want to hear from us. Reach out to us on Facebook on any of the groups, or if you want to message myself, Tony Hirschbach on Facebook, or we do have the email address, podcast@hirschbach.com. It's monitored. Reach out to us, and we can start getting some of the guests and topics scheduled ahead of time here. Now, last week I did mention we're going to have a subtitle to what I'm hosting, What's Your Drive?
Okay.
Have you heard-
Subtitle.
Yes.
Okay. No.
Have Drum roll. The new subtitle is No Baloney with Tony.
Oh, I like it. No baloney with Tony. Okay.
So a little bit of fun with the name,
Excellent.
so we can laugh. I think everyone needs laughter in the day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so we can tackle the hard topics too. No
yeah.
baloney.
No, I think that's great. One of our core values is transparent communication, and that's talking straight and so forth. And So yeah, no baloney with Tony. And another one is another one of our values is, making sure that we're having fun as well. So I think you're incorporating a couple of them there in the title, which is great.
That was the subtitle that got the best reviews.
Yeah.
The other one that I was requesting was Fireside Chats with Lord Anthony.
With Lord Anthony. Okay.
Yeah, we'll cover that one in a future podcast where the Lord comes from.
Okay.
But okay, with that, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Brad, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, well, as far as, what do drivers want to hear about and so forth, maybe, oftentimes you want to hear about what's going on with the company and freight and things like that. And, there's been a lot of, we bought JCT 2 years ago. It's now been, as of a month ago, it's been integrated into Hirschbach. We're going through this industry. For those of you that have been in the industry for a while, know that it has its ups and downs. It's a cyclical industry, and we're in a down cycle, and we've been in a down cycle for a couple years now. We're fighting our way through it. I was just looking at the miles this morning on our morning call, listening to miles. Miles are coming up on our over-the-road fleet. I think they were up about 100 miles I saw this morning. Safety's always a topic that people are wondering. You hear about accidents and so on and so forth. I'm going to knock on wood here, but you guys have really been doing a great job from a safety perspective, and I know safety is near and dear to your heart.
A little bit.
What we do is critically important. We're feeding this great nation, but we've got to do it safely, right? And we don't want to be hurting people of this great nation. And we've had some great progress. Preventable accidents per million miles a year ago were 7 accidents per million miles, and we're basically right at 4 now. So we've almost cut it in half in the last year, and so there's been a lot of great work that's been going on throughout the organization to be able to really have that nice improvement. We've still got some opportunities for further improvement, and 0 accidents is the goal, right? Perfection, and we're going to keep working on that and getting better and better. So I want to thank everyone for your efforts there on the safety. Well, thank you for your patience as well as we've been working through some of the integration and so forth. The thing I guess I'd leave you with in closing somewhat is that, the future for this organization is really, really bright. It's bright for all of us. Things don't, whether it's your own life or, a company's life, whatever you want to say, things don't they don't move on a nice linear line, right? The lines tend to, have peaks and valleys to them, but you keep moving up, and I'd say we're definitely continuing to move up in this organization. Are we going to get bigger? Yes. Are we going to get better? Yes. We're very focused on the better right now, not the bigger, and that's that's driver retention, that's accidents, that's minimizing deadhead, getting the miles up. It's getting the maintenance costs down. It's all those things. And what I would just ask all of you is that you control a lot of the cost in the organization, whether it's through fuel economy, whether it's making sure you're taking care of your equipment and it's being maintained. Delivering our customers loads on time is really, really, really critical and something that you can help us with. Something we do a great job at overall. We've got some customers that we're not giving the high level of service to that we need to. Right now, Florida Natural is a customer that we need to pay a lot of attention to, a great account out of Florida and so forth, but delivering freight on time, particularly in an environment like this where our customers have a lot of choices on where they can have their freight moved by. It's really critical that we're really taking care of our customers and not giving them a reason why to consider someone else. So, I don't know. Any other topics you can think about?
No, off the top of my head, no.
No. What do you got going on this weekend? Anything fun?
I hope nothing this weekend. No, graduation parties.
Graduation parties.
So,
Okay. Good
similar
time
to
of year for
you,
that. Yeah.
Our youngest son graduated. So,
Congratulations.
and that's more his mother, not me.
Yeah.
But we are looking at becoming empty nesters as well.
Yeah. Well.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think my kids are listening to this, but I mean, it was not as hard of a transition, I guess, is what my wife and I thought. We're enjoying it. It's like, life's like life's a book, and you got different chapters in the book, and we're all still writing our own books, if you will. But that's just another chapter in the book to write, and all of us. We can't control everything, obviously, in life, but I think for the most part we are in control of our lives, and I would just say that each of us are our own authors of our own books, and make sure that you're writing the book the way you'd want it to be written. So
Make the most out of it.
yeah, absolutely.
So, well, that is going to close out today's episode of What's Your Drive. Again, Brad, thank you very much for joining us today.
Hey, I hope I'm invited back sometime.
I'm hoping I'm the host again, too. So, again, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Be sure to comment, whether it be on YouTube, Facebook, or email us. And with that, 794 is clear. Have a great day.